Someone, ooh, here we go. Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Matt?
Holy shit. It is Mike himself, MJVictims, joining my stream. Holy crap. I'm good, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Work is over, so that's always good.
Oh, nice. Very nice. What time do you work usually?
It depends. Sometimes I work overnight, so I'll do like a 10 to like 6:37, and
Mhm.
then sometimes I work midday. It just depends.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So there probably will not be very many people here, but I guess that's okay.
Well, what is I don't know if you saw. I went in. I saw that I just posted something on Instagram. That's why I was kind of almost late, but I don't know if you saw that Andy Signor interviewed Mark Garagos to try to get him to make a mea culpa because he represented the Casios, and that was a complete and total. It was I put it on my Instagram, and it was just disgusting. And the problem with like people like Mark Garagos and some of these other people, they're not strong enough. They're always
Yeah.
about talking about, oh, he was asking, well, what do you think about? He went on about the Arvizo trial because of the Netflix thing. He said, I don't believe them, blah, blah, blah. But then he went on when asked about, Andy Signal was trying to corner him, saying, well, what would you say if someone's asked you if Michael Jackson was guilty? And
Hang on, Mike. Sorry.
yep.
Alice, what's that sound? Alice? What's that noise? Okay. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Is it? So yeah, so he was just like saying, well, he wouldn't give an answer. And it's like, well, you've represented the Casios. You just went on and talked about how he saw all their testimony and there's no doubt you believe them. Why not just forcefully come out and say, yeah, I believe the Casios. Yes, he was a prolific predator, and be done with it. But they're all so worried about, who cares if you get back on Popcorn's planet, for God's sakes? Just tell Andy Signor off and tell him to go. The man's a moron. He literally is a walking, talking pastry. He's just, he's totally, he's not read into anything. He just sort of, whatever the Jacksons want, he'll say.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm seeing a lot, especially lately, and you've talked about it too, with how like there's a lot of people who have just started doing this like 4 or 5 months ago, and they know absolutely nothing about what's been going on the last 30 years. You know what I mean?
Have you? I just so you know, I did watch some of the videos from that woman.
Speaking of which, that woman is a very strong supporter of Popcorn Planet, by the way.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. But you know who she sounds like? If you ever get a chance, the old Howard Stern show, there was a woman called Underdog Lady, one of his whack packers. She sounds almost identical to Underdog Lady, one of the whack pack. And
I'm gonna look her up.
Underdog. Yes, and if you hear her, she what was I going to say? She's still like that today. So she still has that sort of recessed childhood type of doesn't want to grow up. Her whole thing was Underdog. She dressed up like Underdog and would do interpretive dance to Underdog.
Oh my God. Let's take a look. I want to split this up in a way where they can still see us. Not this one. This one. This one. Okay. Let's see.
Viewers get
granted an power born by the car.
What is it? You are dressed like Underdog for a particular reason?
I'm here to give a dance impersonation of this TV cartoon superhero who.
Oh wow, she does sound like her.
She has the same cadence and
yeah, she does. Oh my God!
You could picture her and was it Tanya?
Tanya, yeah.
Still kind of walking around with Dora the Explorer backpacks and having like pudding cups in the back of it. That's when I hear her voice. That's what I picture. I picture someone who literally hasn't grown up. It's just living in this sort of delayed childhood that just never has.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said in that stream that I had seen, the one that was like an hour long. in a lot of ways, I do feel bad for her because, like I said, she does have some mental disorders, but I don't know. I can't really excuse all of her behavior just because of that. And she never listened to anything we told her ever. She's so stubborn. It's insane.
She's nuts. I don't know how else to put. I mean, that's my opinion. She's. From what I heard, she seems really, really just really. How should I put it? Not backwards, but just childlike. I could see, her having sets of Play-Doh around the house. I mean, I honestly.
Play-Doh. Do you want to watch some of her videos?
Of course, I would love to comment on her.
Okay,
wonderful.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the word Wade and see what comes up.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Got part AI. Michael talks about Wade making us laugh. No, the perfect job for Wade. Okay, Wade get a job. Oh, come on. Alan Harper and Wade Robson are twins. This is so. See, it is childish. Like, what is this? Oh my God. And by the way, have you seen she does like these streams as well with her friends, and some of her highlights, like this one, she literally talks to an AI Michael Jackson.
Well, I'm sure she would. That sounds like something that this individual would do and probably, fall in love with. Like some of these people love AI robots. I could picture her doing that.
I can't stand the AI stuff. How about this one? Wade created multiple fake charities. Let's see.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
By the way, she talks very slow, so I'm going to put the speed to 1.15 at least. Let's see.
To the MJ Innocent podcast. I'm your host, Moonwalker Tanya. All right, so I'm still dealing with allergies, and my throat has a little bit of a tickle in it, so sorry about that if I have issues. Okay, so
that's an understatement.
So in this episode, I want to talk about Wade's fake charities.
Okay.
Now, before the mockumentary, he had a charity.
She calls Leaving Neverland a mockumentary, by the way.
Well, if she's talking about fake charities, why not talk about Michael Jackson's fake charities if you're going to bring it up? Let's be honest, they went into the books in some of those, and they weren't as, all they were cracked up to be. We'll say that much.
Tell us about the Heal the World charity that Michael.
The Heal the World. They said that all the money that supposedly it gave, that there's a lot of money that wasn't received, and that a lot of the the figures that they were giving just wasn't true. And the other thing people are going to realize, anyone that's a millionaire like Michael Jackson, giving to charity really isn't giving to charity, because it's essentially nothing more than tax shelters. And like if you look at Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, they did that because they know that they were going to make money off of that foundation. And it was a lot easier to make money off the charity than it was actually some of the businesses. And a lot of these really wealthy individuals will do that. And, to sit there and pick on Wade, who's, I think he had to change the name to one charity because the lunatics were going on and harassing him. And, oh my God, his wife said that she was a victim of child abuse. And that's not, if she said she never was, he's like, no, abuse, not sexual abuse, physical abuse. Mm-hmm. So that's how they essentially got that taken down. It's just, it's like, people wake up. Your hero is not what he claims to be. He's just something that's, everything about him is just so plastic. It's completely and totally plastic.
Literally.
And it's not fantastic.
When it comes to the plastic, sometimes it was literal.
Yes, his face was and again, I was listening to some podcast that you were doing with Roxanne and about his appearance. And my view is he always wanted to look more like a child. If you look at his childhood video, that says so much, because he's turning himself, he's making himself look like this sort of 1930s popper looking child. And if you look at the turned up nose and the big eyes and the face, and I really do think that was his sort of goal was to look like a child so he could attract children. So he wasn't as threatening. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that, or would you say he was trying to look more so like a child or more like a white woman?
I wouldn't say white woman. Disney creation maybe, but not white woman. he just had this sort of, the turned up nose. And if you do like a comparison, the Peter Pan statue he had, him standing side by side, that's the nose he wanted. He wanted this sort of pixie looking nose. And right. I think that all the stuff, well, my father made fun of me and this and that. I honestly think that happened, but I don't think that was the main driving force to Michael Jackson's bizarro look.
Have you heard the theory? There was this, it looks almost like an Egyptian statue or something, and it actually looks like Michael Jackson. And some people theorize he wanted to look like that statue. Have you seen this theory or seen the picture?
I've seen the statue, yes. I was kind of surprised that does really look like him. And it's weird because it's after the surgery. So something that far back to have it look like him, unless he was trying to model himself after that, which, again, we're talking Michael Jackson. Nothing surprises me. It really doesn't.
It's possible. It'd be weird as hell, but it's a possibility. Oh my God. Oh, I had a question too I wanted you to cover. When we were talking to Pearl, that was a fun day, by the way. You were responding to her about how she thinks that Michael is alive. And you had said if he actually did fake his death, it would make him, narcissistic and selfish and all that, right? Yeah. But here's the thing: in a lot of ways, we do, right? You people like you and Roxanne, and many other people say, well, he was selfish and narcissistic. Yeah. So if he is selfish and narcissistic, do you think it's possible that he actually would have done that?
It wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise if there was an option for him to do that. Look at where he was. His essentially, even if he did all those concerts, it wouldn't have made a dent in what he owed. He was having everything essentially being taken away. He leveraged everything. And the people talk about, well, Michael Jackson was killed for the Sony catalog. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. They didn't have to wait too long to get that catalog if they just let him go on the path he was going. They didn't need to murder the man. Just let him do what he's doing. And eventually it would have gotten sold off. But it would not surprise me in the least, because I could see him, I could see him just doing it because he wants to be in the funeral and watch everybody, cry over him. I could see him doing it for that purpose, just alone. But I could also see him doing it because it's a way out. And when did he ever take responsibility for anything? Why would he take responsibility for all the mess that he made and the fact that he was, in debt, and his children, they had to live. They were basically vagabonds going from place to place. He was stealing from sheiks and people that, he's supposed to make music with. And it was just a total mess. And I could see him saying, okay, well, I'm just going to fake my death. And that would be like another part of the P.T. Barnum thing. And then maybe someday I'll pop up, like a Pop-Tart saying, look, I'm here. And it's just, I could see him doing that. But the thing that also I question is what Conrad Murray said in the trial. Conrad Murray said, if I say what I could say, it would hurt both sides. So both the prosecution and the defense. And if Conrad Murray was just there to be the window dressing on his fake death, then, it would hurt both sides. That, But I don't know. The only reason I would want him alive is to face the accusers at this point.
True. Although I feel like even if he was alive, that would probably never happen, which is unfortunate.
No, he would do something else. He would, who knows?
Let's continue with this.
It was literally going nowhere. It was basically talking about how they were going to prevent child sexual abuse and also promote like meditation and things like that, and literally nothing came of it. It was actually revealed that the only thing that Wade did with it was create a Facebook page and literally nothing else.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, they tormented him. They had to take it down. When he first did it, I remember, I think I gave to that charity too, just to piss somebody off. It was I did. They were saying it's not a real check. I said, I'll give $50 right now. I don't give a crap. I said, well, I gave it, and I got a nice little, thank you email. So yeah, it's there. I mean, the reality is they basically crowded on them, and they were trying to contact people to tell them how Wade was, what Wade did and how he's a scammer and all this. So what are you going to do? After a while, it's not worth the hassle. But I do think that he's working with the Hawaii Foundation, and he's doing it in a different way. So it's not the same name. It's under something else, and he's contributing in a different way. But yeah, I mean, you have, these lunatics that are putting out videos like this. What do you expect? It's like, I would love to go up this room and say, you haven't never even met Michael Jackson or any of these accusers. Why don't you take 2 minutes to actually listen to their stories? Get out of your little, playpen and realize that there are actually, real things going on instead of your just childhood fantasy. Oh, Michael Jackson might look at me nicely. Grow up. Grow up. You're a full-grown adult. When I heard her and I kind of saw some of the things, I honestly thought she was like a I don't know, a teenager, like a 14 or 15-year-old.
Yeah, mentally.
But
mentally, yes.
Yes. It's just and then she has a group of, friends that are probably just rolling their eyes too and just going along with it just to shut her up. But what do I know?
Do you know the MJ fan username Moonwalking Kingdom?
No.
Okay, so his just a MJ fan. His name is Joey, and I think now he's 24 years old. But Tanya had a crush on him 4 years ago, so he was 20.
How old was she at the time?
36.
Well, that sounds like she would be a Michael Jackson fan. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm sure he's going to be running after her. He's going to be like doing, God.
Project Sparky says, I got some questions that I would like to know if you or MJVictims. Yeah, for sure. Any questions you have, I'm sure Mike would be happy to answer, right?
Sure. Not a problem. I'm not going to go into anything personal, but not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not giving these people anything. I've already had their cute little ways of harassing me. So.
Oh, but don't worry. Actually, Project Sparky is not a fanatic, so you'll be
okay. Good. Okay.
All right, let's continue here.
The other thing
after the mockumentary, he created.
Sorry, what?
Pearl. Did I tell you what happened with Pearl and what she said about Frank Cassio?
Oh no!
She put out a video saying that Frank Cassio is obtaining and using child pornography.
Oh, that
yes. Yes. And I'm like trying to argue with her, going, you don't understand what Vincent Amen was saying, that it was like nudist videos and things like that were technically legal, but he got Wade into ordering and watching or whatever. I said, that's not child pornography. And I forwarded it to a bunch of people just so they had. I took screenshots to show them, but she's out of her freaking tree. The woman is literally, if you look at her, she looks nuts. She looks literally like
you can always
just
tell.
out of her mind.
You ever see people, like, even in real life, the people who are always the people who are always bug-eyed, they're always the craziest.
Yeah, that's exactly what she looks like. But let's go on with the wonderful workings of Tanya.
Yes.
Book page and literally nothing else. Now, after the mockumentary, he created a second fake charity called, I believe it was the Robson Family Fund, but then fans called him out, because obviously, based on the name, it's kind of obvious. So he changed the name, so it would just be about, like the Robson Child Sexual Abuse Fund or something like that. And the only reason they called it a fund was so that he didn't have to fill out a form with the IRS every year.
Okay, how do you react to that?
That's total nonsense. And the thing is that he worked with the Hawaii, I think it's called the Hawaii Foundation. So it wasn't like him directly. It was going through another party to, and they did some promotion and everything. So no, she's totally wrong as usual. And a lot of these people, they want to pin on these accusers what Michael Jackson was. I this idea, and I'm so sick of saying, well, he was so charitable. Are you kidding me? Why didn't he pay his staff a livable wage if he was that charitable? Why did his staff have to fight for a raise and never receive it? It went on, I forget how many months. And you're telling me this is a charitable man? No, he gave money to things that would embolden him and things that he was interested in. So, let me give to a hospital so people don't look and realize that I'm walking in with two unrelated children in my hands. It's just, it's total, complete, utter nonsense. He's not a messiah.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Project Sparky says, while I do believe MJ is most likely guilty now, there are a few things that I can't really explain. That being Wade, someone was able to lie his way out of the 05 trial. So I guess what he's implying with this question is, how do you think Wade looked so believable as being Mesereau's first witness? How do you feel about that?
Because Zonin is not a competition, Mesereau is not competition. When you're not ready to disclose, if you can't disclose of your wife for 30 years or your parents of, say 40 years later, do you think Mesereau or Zonin are any competition? You're doing it your whole life. So just because you're under oath being questioned, it's like, whatever, it's not a big deal. This idea that disclosure happens because you're sitting, you're being questioned by a prosecutor is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's what people who don't understand disclosure. Disclosure doesn't happen even on the victim's timetable. And I can say this, I can attest this for myself. It happens sometimes at the worst possible times, and it's usually some sort of breakdown. And in that breakdown, what happens is your body literally tells you, you need to speak up. You need to say something, because if you don't, now what was mental is coming out physical. And you're going to feel it. With me, I thought I was having a heart attack. I was in palpitations. And that's what a lot of people go through. And then the lucky people will sometimes disclose early, but it's very, very rare. So that's why I can believe that he could easily take questions. And Mesereau, please. I call Mesereau now the fifth Golden Girl. He's just a total mess. I mean, all the trials. And then if you've seen him on Piers Morgan, he looked really, he did not look good. He looked like his health. He was having issues with his health and not just aging.
How old is he now? Not just age.
75, maybe 74.
But you think it's not just aging? No,
he looked really, at least in that interview, he didn't look right. He looked
75.
pasty and 70. So, and then now that the Robson safe check, the trial date got moved to 2028. So let's keep on, making motion after motion to kick it down the road. He's going to be 77.
By the way, how do you feel about the fans who say it's the exact opposite in terms of why it's being kicked down the road? That it's actually Wade who keeps delaying it. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely not, because the lawyers at this point don't think. Because when it comes to Tom Mesereau, he's going to get paid by the estate. There's no doubt in that. The big part of that payment for the trial attorney, John Carpenter, is going to trial. And then if he gets a judgment, he'll get part of that judgment. So that's the big, and also John Carpenter said it in Leaving Neverland too. He says the goal of the defense is to try to delay so they can make more money doing what they're doing. And we just want to get to trial. And the reality is that the discovery that I think they probably have at this point, I think that the MJ estate knows it's going to be pretty awful when it gets to a civil attorney. Kind of like O.J. Simpson when it happened in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I just wanted to. There's a question in chat, but I'm not going to read it though until I confirm one thing about what they said. So I'll wait for a minute. I'll go back to Tanya for now.
Because apparently the laws are different in Hawaii, where he doesn't have to report like either where the money is coming from or even where the money is going. But
so she's claiming that he had it in Hawaii because Wade doesn't have to report where the money is coming from.
Well, he also lives in Hawaii or Maui. I guess he couldn't do it from anywhere else. I don't know what to tell you. Well, gee, let me move to another state so I can start a foundation just to please Tanya. No, of course, any foundation that you start, any nonprofit especially, there's going to be vetting to it. There's no question. And the fact that he was going through the Hawaii Fund, because I remember that's where I got the email. It was tied to his charity, but it was also tied to this foundation. Is going to vet this, and because it affects that main foundation. Again, it's just as let's just go after, let's sort of attack him any way we can, just to make him seem like he's what Michael Jackson was.
Are you leaving? Okay. Have fun. It's my wife's first day at her new job.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Message me. Let me know how it goes. Okay. Okay. Continue.
So that's why. And I know because I was there when they were attacking him with that foundation. And it started with the statement that they made about, I can't remember, I'm drawing a blank on Wade's wife's first name. She made something about, she says that I also understand child abuse because I was abused. And then they say, well, in the movie, she says that she wasn't abused. And it's like, can you take 2 seconds, take a deep breath and realize that not everything's sexual abuse. Sometimes it's physical abuse too. And then that kind of shut them up. But it's just so... Imagine trying to start a foundation because you were raped as a child and trying to get money for that foundation. And you have some lunatic fans that are sitting there harassing a charitable foundation because they think they have the upper hand.
Yes. And I did it. I did it in 2013. Yeah, you remember? You remember us feuding for over a year. Yay.
But the thing is that it's just, at least the thing is that it, like when I just did an Instagram thing with Andy Signo, whatever, and one of the things I mentioned, I said, what right does a freaking host of a pop culture podcast have to sit there and call victims, and more than likely victims of child rape, liars? Seriously, what does it have? How does that sort of engage into pop culture? Rape victims? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It's just basically him emboldening himself so he can sit there with his other, the people that are going to praise him. Oh, Andy Signo, you're so brilliant. Oh, Andy Signo. It's like, no, he isn't. He's not brilliant. He could barely form a sentence. When he was on Leaving Neverland 2, he didn't even know what duty of care was. They had I don't know if he saw it, but he was being questioned. And he's like, it's called duty. What? He has to sit there and look at his notes. I said, you called all these men lies. You think you would know it off the top of your head? Little, I don't know what to call them.
By the way, Wade's wife is Amanda.
Amanda, okay.
Yes.
Amanda.
So the question, I know the answer to this too, but I'll let you do it. He says, can you explain the coincidental tie around him not being in that 2010 show, I think it was a Cirque show in 2010, and then realizing, I got molested. To me, it seems a bit convenient.
Oh God, what happened? What happened was that he had a nervous breakdown. So he was in the Cirque du Soleil. They actually already gave him the job, according to the emails that Dan Reed was posting when he was they were doing like the press junkets. And he then got a better job. He said he could be a director. Now, who told all of the children they could be directors and gave them video cameras? Oh, that would be Michael Jackson. So he said, what? I'm going to go to be a director. It's a much bigger gig, something that's not so much tied to Michael Jackson, which is also a good thing to diversify. And then he did it and realized he couldn't handle it. And he had a nervous breakdown. And that's usually what happens. So the pressure and all that sort of thing, that powder keg begins to sort of form, and then eventually you break. So what happened was he had those nervous breakdowns, and he realized he had to deal with, it's not just directing a movie. There's other more complicated things that brought you to this moment. He talked to therapists, he talked to people. And kind of like when I had a breakdown, I had people talk to me and say, you need to tell us what's going on. You need to come forward with this. And I didn't with them. I tried to reach other people, but that's what he was going through. And then after that, what do? You now can't direct a movie. So you go back to what's comfortable. So you say, well, maybe I can direct the Cirque du Soleil, just so you can have some semblance of normalcy. And he was, Cirque du Soleil said, no, we moved on. You had your chance, and etc. And all that is about, people say, well, why would he want to go back to Cirque du Soleil and do? It's because you want to get back to the safe zone. You want to get back to a place where you feel, okay, everything's good now. Okay, I had that little breakdown, but I'm back now. And then he had another nervous breakdown. So it's understanding trauma and understanding how it affects people. And so nothing, it's convenient for the people if they want to doubt him, but to me, it doesn't mean much of anything.
Okay. Also, I wanted you to explain a point that even I made in my 2019 Debunking Leaving Neverland video. I posted a clip of Wade dancing to Unbreakable. I don't know. You've seen that clip?
No.
Oh, so you may not know when it is then. My question was going to be, there's a clip of Wade teaching a dance class, and he's got Michael Jackson's song Unbreakable during.
Sure.
And in my video, I claimed that I made the claim that this was after his supposed breakdown.
Sure.
But I wanted to ask you, it's probably before. We just got the timing wrong. But you've never seen it? Maybe I should play it.
No, I haven't. And I can probably tell if it's after just by Wade's appearance sort of thing.
Let's take a look. I hope it's still on YouTube. Maybe it's gone now. Yay, it's still here. Okay. So there's no indication as to when this was. Oh, actually there is. It says right in the title, 2012. Unless, of course, that's wrong. But I will play the video in a second. Let me just... I guess I have to close this one first. That sucks. Okay, hang on. Close this one. Okay, StreamYard, can I just, open this, please? My God. Okay, there we go. Stop this one. And then I will open this one. Okay, so the claim from me and a lot of fans was that this was filmed after his breakdown. Let's take a look. So what we have from this video, unless of course it's inaccurate, we just have 2012 in the title, and in the title, in the description, we say how Wade could dance the music of his abuser all over, and then it was uploaded March 29th, 2019. What do you think?
It doesn't look like it's 2019. He looks too young in that to be 2019.
Oh no, 2012.
2012, I could believe. That's kind of because in 2013 I remember he went on the Matt Lauer show. His hair was longer, and he looked he looked like he had more of a gut sort of thing. Where here, because he probably wasn't dancing. Here it looks like he's more fit, and I would say it's probably earlier than 2013. So I would say 2012. But again, I don't care. I don't care if he's dancing right now to his songs. I don't care if he's doing pirouettes to it. I don't care. I don't care because people don't get this. Let me use this as an example. A girl gets raped by her father, and then comes forward, etc., and then starts looking at old pictures of them together and feeling, oh, remember this time and that time with their family. Does that mean that, well, how dare you look at pictures of you and your father? You should be ripping those up. That's not the case. That's not how trauma works. Trauma works in the sense of that you're going to have a lot of anger. That's going to dissipate a little bit as you go through this. And then eventually you become more accepting. And even though you understand you might not want to have a whole lot to do with that individual, you are going to have memories. And I explain what people need to understand, and I've said this many times, when you were abused, you are willing to forget the 10%, that awful stuff, to save the 90%, because that 90% is usually very good memories.
Right.
And you don't want to throw out your whole history just because of that. And a lot of times you can compartmentalize and handle that, but and then the person that abused me, I don't throw everything out. There's certain parts that I will remember, and then certain parts I'll say, okay, well, I can no longer associate with this human being anymore, and there's some anger, but it's not all going to be, oh, I hate this person, I want this person to. That's not how it works. At least in the beginning it kind of does, but not as you go on.
Yeah, no, for sure, I agree. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, that's why it's so suspicious. But the biggest issue that I have with this fake charity is that when you try to donate to it, the minimum that you can donate is $250. Then it's $500 or $1,000. I have donated to a lot of charities over the years. The minimum is never $250.
So stop it for 1 second.
Yeah.
Why
so
is she not showing screenshots? Why is she not going into where the charity is and showing screenshots of what that is instead of just spouting off? Well, I donated $50. I did it again out of anger because some idiot was giving. There's not a real charity. Blah blah blah. And I said, okay, fine. I said, there it is. And I think I even put it on my Twitter. I showed the receipts, and I was like, okay, shut up. I'm done with you. I don't care. But no, I don't. Again, you're making these claims. Both claims need evidence. Take a screenshot, show that it's a minimum of $250, or maybe in her brain she misread it, and if you give this much, you get this sort of thing. If you give this much, you give this sort of thing. I mean, most charities don't care if you give $5 or $500. It's not. So
simply put, you did give $50.
Yes, I gave $50.
Yeah, so therefore the minimum wasn't $250.
I don't know if there's another charity that he had after that. I think he put something up, but it wasn't really through him as much. He kind of worked with the Hawaii Foundation and kind of did it that way, where his name wasn't on it, etc. But
so they could have done that, maybe.
Yes, but okay, what do you think he's going to make from this? Seriously, he basically lost his career, he lost his life, he has to deal with these lunatics. Oh, but I might make $500 on a charitable donation. It's ridiculous. It's utterly, totally ridiculous. The thought process is so backwards. And it's, honestly, I think these people think the whole world's Mad Libs. You can just fill it up as you go on.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Tanya.
It's usually like the minimum is usually 19 or 25. And I also remember when I was looking at Wade's website, there was even like a box where you could write Wade a comment if you made a donation.
Okay.
I'm like, get over yourself, Wade.
What? I'm sorry, wait, what? because there was a comment section, you say get over yourself? I'm sorry, what the fuck is that?
How dare the person running the foundation ask if you wanted to leave a comment for him?
How dare you?
What an awful thing to do. You wouldn't want that to happen. My word. The person needs to get over herself is this lunatic Tanya. I mean, seriously.
Every single thing has a malicious intent. Oh, a comment section? Oh, God.
It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
Oh my God.
You can see that she's grasping at straws.
Oh yes. If you watch more of her videos, that is actually a very common theme. After this, I hope I can find it. After this one, I will play the one where she calls Wade a pedophile because he's holding like his students.
You know how many times I've been sent that picture, and I've been sent. Well, one of the girls said that they called him Uncle Pervy, and I'm like, you are literally trying to make that argument when you have Michael Jackson openly sharing beds with child after child after child, and alone trying to find ways. And he has his arm draped around something. Oh, he's Uncle Pervy.
Yeah. So don't you know, Mike? If Wade does that, he's Uncle Perv. But
Yes.
if Michael Jackson is bouncing Jordan Chandler on his lap, no problem.
No problem. He's a child. He's 10 again, and he's trying to relive his time. I remember having friends. I never put them on my knee. Jordan wasn't a ventriloquist dummy. I don't think there's any reason to put him on your knee.
Oh my God.
Puts his hand behind his back and saying, "Doo-doo head, call me doo-doo head."
Call me dude. Oh my God. I swear to God.
Let me bring one more thing up. Applehead. No one realizes this. This is something you have to go the deep dive. It's not fun doing this. Applehead is slang for penis in the gay community.
Wait, really?
Yes, because if you look at an apple, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yes. So Applehead, and then you're going to call somebody doo-doo head. If you're using that slang, and nothing surprises me with Michael Jackson, put it together.
To plug to Hades in chat, this is Mike Parr. Yes, the worlds have collided after 13 years. This is really happening.
Yes, I am here. I am on the dark side.
I'm on the dark side. Oh my God, you never thought we'd be here, huh? I had a question about that. There was something else about the nicknames. Oh, do you remember in Living? What was it? Not Living with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's Private Home movies from 2001.
Okay.
You remember a part of it where Michael says, "Oh, there's another nickname." He says, "I don't want to say what it is. It's not a bad word." Do you remember that part of the movie?
No,
Fuck.
I don't.
I don't know if I can't go through the whole thing and find it, but there is a part where Michael mentions the Applehead nickname, and then he goes, "We also have another nickname," and he says the words, "But I don't want to say what it is." He giggles, and then he goes, "Oh, but it's not a bad word." I've always wondered what it actually was and why he didn't want to say it.
Victim. Victim. I don't know.
But if you ever rewatch MJ's Private Home movies, look for that part, and
I will definitely look for it. It's the other thing I saw, and I did a live stream on it, was that stupid Mother Goose thing where he was having little children come up to his bedroom, and they told Mother Goose stories, but the whole time he had his sunglasses on. This is a dark bedroom, and he's sitting with his sunglasses on. It's like, why would you sit with your sunglasses on if you don't want people to know where you're looking? Obviously, that's something that's a little bit creepy. And then he grabs a child. He grabs, I think, Dominic, maybe one of the Cassios, and there's this little girl that's kind of bugging him. And you can tell he's not interested in the little girl that's bugging him. So she kind of moves away. And as soon as that happens, he pushes himself back to the headboard and he grabs one of the Cassios to kind of lay next to him.
That's a really good point, Mike, because as fans, we actually get extremely used to seeing him wear sunglasses all the time. So we never really thought about why he'd wear it, as you said, in like someone's private home, in a dark room. And the point that he might have been doing it because to not see where his eyes are looking is actually really interesting. I never thought about that one.
Yeah, but again, there were parents there. There was that lady, even I think the lady reading the story was kind of getting creeped out a little bit. And the only fun part was there was this one kid that made fun of them. He said something about he goes, "We're going to read some scary stories," and somebody goes, "Well, you're the one that's scary." He said something to that end or something. And Michael Jackson kind of got a little mad. You could see he was a little bit mad. It's like, but I thought that, because that was actually a real moment. Kids are cruel. So you're going to have them say things like that. But, nothing, again, I don't know. I'm rambling.
Plug Hades says, "Gonna make me start calling Appleheads dickheads now."
It's in the Urban Dictionary. It's if you look up Urban Dictionary, it's a gay slang.
Oh God, here we go. I think you're gonna like this one. I'm being sarcastic. Jordan was drugged, and his dad abused him and manipulated him, and his son got a restraining order on his parents.
Where do we start with this? With the just misconceptions on that, Jordan was never drugged. If you know anything about something called sodium amytal, which is actually the brand name of the drugs, not the actual real name, I think it's barbiturate something. Anyways, he in order for him to get that, you have to have, back then in the 90s, a triplicate form. It had to be filed with the DEA. You could not get it off the street. There was no demand for, I want sodium amytal. I'm going to get high with sodium amytal. It wasn't going to happen. So they would have to actually go to the DEA and have it on file. That story came from Harvey Levin. And what happened was the GQ, I think it's Marie Fisher, decided to run with it. Why? Because she was going to be doing a series on false memory syndrome shortly after, implanted memories, things like that. So she ran with that. And the reality is, even if it's true, just to say his father had a moment of weakness and decided to give him this drug. First of all, it doesn't work that way. There was actually 2 anesthesiologists, and they were on, if you look it up on YouTube, one gave another one sodium amytal. And they said, well, what happened? He goes, all I felt was like, you could ask me anything. I just felt more willing to talk. Because they tried to implant memories. None of that worked. Mm-hmm. But even with that being said, you want the public to believe that Evan Chandler, who never, ever had any experience with this drug, had no experience with hypnosis, implanting memories, somehow gave him this magical little drug that made Jordan Chandler remember reams and reams and reams of, 35,000 words of testimony that he could repeat over and over again, because this magic drug was shot up in his arm. And somehow that gave him magic powers to remember things that he could never, ever remember, and actually tell therapists, tell investigators, on and on and on. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's nothing but a story that has been repeated I don't know how many times. And the problem is it's getting repeated by really big podcasters.
I know.
And they don't understand that it's just nothing but a nothing burger. Mm-hmm. So it's, the dad was a dentist with poppers and drugs. The dad had an anesthesiologist that worked for him. And the idea that there's poppers and drugs that he can give him. Okay, it's Dr. Feelgood, Evan throwing out drugs to everybody. Give me a break. And the other thing, I'm going to say something about what I saw with Roxanne and you guys. Mm-hmm. Something I didn't agree with, not in a bad way. But Evan Chandler, she said, well, Evan Chandler was, he was out for money, blah, blah, blah. And I don't agree with that. I've always thought Evan Chandler knew what he knew. People don't realize Evan Chandler was a dentist to the stars. He knew a lot of, he worked for, he was Carrie Fisher's dentist and a bunch of other people that worked in the business in Hollywood, in LA. He knew the power of Michael Jackson. He also knew what would happen if he said anything. So my belief was Evan Chandler at that point was like, when he found out about all this, he was like, I can play this one of two ways. I can say, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to make this all public. And then who knows what will happen to me and my family. Or I can use my skills, which he was a businessman, he was a negotiator. I can go and say, look, we need to handle this in a different way. And then what happened was Anthony Pellicano got involved. They tried to do this 3-picture deal. And then finally he was like, you know what, I need to make sure that my family's protected. And I also need to make sure he's punished. Because the reality is this idea, it's only 20 million, blah, 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 blah. Rich people know money. They know the value of a dollar. Michael Jackson knew the value of a dollar. And to hit him where it's financially, you can financially get him, was a big deal. And then after he got the settlement, people realized he wanted to testify. But he wanted witness protection. Because people don't realize his dentist office got bomb threats. And there was a reporter that came out after leaving Neverland that said, I knew Evan Chandler. I saw him when he was bloodied up. by some, who knows, fans, thugs, whatever. And, you don't, at that point, you have to take it seriously. And I think that's what he did. And I think he used the skills that he had. And the proof's in the pudding. Jordan stayed with him till his mid-20s. So this idea that he was just a sort of abusive father, that all he wanted was money, If he wanted really money, he would have brought up the fact that he wanted to get paid. That was brought up by the defense. Defense paid the parents $1.5 million under their insistence because they wanted to keep everyone quiet, and that money was put in a trust. So this idea that Evan Chandler is this money hungry, I think he was trying to use the skills he had, and that was being a negotiator and trying to get his son out the best way he could. So that's my viewpoint on that.
Fair enough. Sparky, I don't think some of these misconceptions being repeated by fans are them lying. They probably do believe them. 100%. I mean, there's definitely fans who are grifting, and there's some fans who genuinely believe what they're saying. Yeah, the ones, I would say it's the modern fans who are grifting, but the ones who have been around for at least 10 years, they really believe what they're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Carrie Fisher died from a junkie overdose. Same dentist. Wow, you put a two-piece puzzle together. Granted, it's not the two-piece puzzle you're thinking of. It's literally a square and a round peg. I hate to break the news to you. Not everything that you think that you easily can figure out, you can easily figure out. Just because you have a thought in your head, you might not want to share it all the time. I hate to break the news to you. And the reality is this idea that somehow Evan Chandler was giving Carrie Fisher drugs. She's not going to go to Evan Chandler to get drugs. Trust me. All these people in Hollywood have their own connections, and none of them are dentists or doctors. Michael Jackson case there are because you couldn't get him anywhere else. But the reality is a lot of these people aren't going to go through Evan Chandler to get their Dr. Feelgood drugs. Not going to happen. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous on its face. It's just totally ridiculous. I come up with an idea and now I know.
What about what this guy says? He goes, according to his son, his dad came at him with a weight. His dad was a scumbag.
No, well, again, do people realize how families act sometimes? Families sometimes they get violent with each other. I hate to say it. Living in an Italian family. I grew up in an Italian family.
I am Italian. I'm Italian too.
So sometimes things are not pleasant. Sometimes you get into heated arguments. But the reality was that Evan Chandler, by the time that happened, was paranoid. Evan Chandler was getting plastic surgery, so nobody recognized who he was. He was living like a recluse with his son, and he had a lot on his plate because he had something called Gaucher's disease, which is a blood disorder, which is not pleasant. It's painful. So you had all these things, and then you have people trying to hunt him down. Oh, I'm going to find Evan Chandler, and I'm going to do the right thing. You have all these idiots trying to track him down, like they're the ones that are going to make it right. You have to deal with that, and they had to move. I don't know how many times because they kept on being found. And this idea that these Michael Jackson lunatic victim shaming scum, and that's what I'm going to call them, the victim shaming. I used to use the word fanatic. Now I'm using victim shamer, victim shaming scum, because that's what you are. When they do this, what happens is that it puts people in a predicament where they have to somehow, hide. And that's what happened with Evan. So there was a fight, and yes, Evan got violent with him. And then there was a police report that was filed. Again, these are families. Families are complex. Believe it or not, it happens. It's not something I would ever want to see happen, but it can happen. Mm-hmm. And just to blame everything on Michael Jackson. Oh well, I had a bowl of cottage cheese today. Oh, it's Michael Jackson. Oh, I'm having a pot roast tonight. Oh, it's Michael Jackson. Not everything has to do with Michael Jackson. Sometimes it's just family dynamics.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I don't want to stay on arguing with the chat too long because I want to get back to Tanya's video, but I'll read this one more. I remember there was a thing about, he wrote down, I'm trying to read it differently because he wrote it really weird. Chandler's dad asked, what's the net? I don't mean net for Jordy. He said, that's not my concern. There was a clip of Evan saying Jordan's not his concern or something.
Yeah, it's during the tape.
That's the words of an innocent father. What was it again?
It was during the David Schwartz and Evan Chandler tape where he was recorded, and it was spliced so bad, by the way, that CBS the next day had to go and do a retraction. And then I did a post on my X showing you, if you break down the that whole recording, it's like 35,000 words roughly, and then over 200 pages. This sentence shows up in page 2. This sentence shows up in page 46. This sentence shows up. So they just spliced it together. As for the fact that he said, yeah, that's not my concern. He said something like, that's not important. That's not my concern. Again, you're talking about a man that just found out his child was abused and probably is really, really pissed at the person that abused him. And now it's being asked about it. And sometimes you say things that might not be the most eloquent or the way you want to come out. He could have meant, you know what, that isn't my concern right now. I'm dealing with trying to get this lunatic that's raping children, raping children. I want to get him arrested or at least to face justice. And you're asking people that are going through very difficult situations to parse every single word. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just, again, this idea that somehow, well, he said this and he said that. Look at all the lunatic things Michael Jackson said. Look at the Daily Mail when he was being questioned about child molestation, and they asked about Jordy Chandler. Can you tell me about Jordy Chandler? Who? Huh? I don't know who he is. I mean, serious. And he's sitting there giggling, holding up a folder to his face as they're asking him questions. I mean, you want to go? Let's go down the line and look at Michael Jackson's bizarro statements all the time. And the most telling thing, you want to talk about Dudehead and Applehead? There was something I think in the latest, it might have been, maybe it was in the Netflix, but anyways, there was they showed Michael Jackson with a camcorder that he gave to Frank Cascio, and he was in the mirror and he was holding the camcorder up and he was going, I'm taping, I'm not trying to be a narcissist.
I saw that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he said, doo-doo. What? He's sitting there practicing lines. And I'm like, if you have to practice saying that, is it really authentic? Or are you trying to make it sound authentic? The man, again, people don't look at these things that way. He's just being cute. He's just playing up for the camera. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Hey, Mike, do you want to hear even more about how lovely fans are?
Go right ahead. I love fans.
Yeah, we all. He says that the detail posted on the community tab articles about fans trespassing on the Chandler's home, and everyone in the comment section was cheering it on.
It doesn't surprise me. Any lunatic, because they had a UK fan that drove all the way up, flew all the way down, and then was trying to hunt down Jordan Chandler and found his uncle instead. If I was the uncle, I would have made sure she never saw the UK again, to be perfectly honest. I mean, seriously, you're going around trying to find I'm going to be the great fan and I'm going to be, Inspector Gadget and figure it out. It's just like, grow up. Grow up. This is a child, whether you believe it or not. The fact that the child said that they were raped, that's something you need to step back on. And who gives you the right to go after any child to try to find them and harm them or even talk to them? Grow up. And he did. I think he alerted the police, and they ended up sending her back. Hopefully on Frontier Airlines wasn't there back then, but it would have been nice if it was Frontier Airlines. You could really be comfortable.
By the way, are you fully Italian?
Yes, 100%.
Nice. I'm half Italian, half Maltese. Maltese on my mom's side.
It's Italian is good. Good news is lots of good food, and it's in most cases you get a lot of good fun stories.
Oh yes, oh my God, yes. All right, let's continue with Tanya. Oh my God, we're gonna speed her up, by the way, because even now she talks pretty slow, right?
Yeah, she's just.
Okay, we're up to 1.25 in the speed now. Let's go.
Oh God.
Now, another reason why this is so suspicious is that I remember right under the donation options, it said that a 2.5 processing fee would also be charged on top of the donation.
Isn't this normal with any website where you make a transaction of this kind?
I'm telling you, if you listen to Underdog Lady, she does a lot of this same sort of thought process where she'll talk about Underdog, and she'll talk about how, well, the reason why he had a special pill was because he needed extra energy, and he would take it to get extra energy so he could fly higher. And it's the same exact cadence as Tanya. And the same exact, sort of minute details that nobody cares about. Nobody cares
God. Oh, there's a processing fee. Oh my God.
No. Oh my word. He must be making money off of that too. Oh my God. He's making money hand over fist.
Holy
oh my word.
shit.
Not compared to Michael Jackson, who was a multi-millionaire who made tons and tons of money off the fanatical fans that would buy, oh look, I can buy a Michael Jackson doll, and look, it comes with a white glove. All that was marketing. He made money off of it. And he's sitting there going, well, there's a processing fee.
There's a processing fee. Okay.
Oh, she's a lunatic.
And there wasn't a box that you could put a check mark in to opt out of the processing fee and just be charged like an extra $2 or something.
That's the whole point of a processing
So I
fee,
personally,
you moron.
I know that when you use a credit card or something like that, obviously a processing fee is, they happen, because that happens when I pay my electric bill with
Okay, so you're admitting it's normal, therefore why are you making a point about it?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, you're asking somebody who probably had a frontal lobotomy, trying to figure out what a processing fee is. Probably still trying to, figure out the latest Blue's Clues. This is not. This is not gonna bode well for Tanya. Let me tell you.
Holy hell! By the way, I don't know if I should even say this, but we're less than 4 minutes into this video.
Oh my God! It's just so. It's like she drones on, and everything has to be like articulated a specific way. I don't know if you know, but there's a processing fee.
We're gonna have to speed run this a little bit. Let's do it.
credit card. But like I said, I've donated to other charities, and even when they say that there was a processing fee, there would be a box saying, or you can opt out of it for an extra $2, so that your entire donation goes to the charity.
What?
So that's just a red flag in my opinion.
Oh my God.
And then after that, Wade and James were still not doing anything to help real survivors, even though they claimed that's what their lawsuit was actually about, when they said it wasn't about money, but they were literally doing the opposite. So the judge was calling them out on it.
Go for it.
Well, Tanya, you know what? Let me tell you something there, little baby cakes. And I call you baby cakes. I call you baby cakes because you act like a baby and your head is like a barely cooked Duncan Hines devil food cake. So let me finish what I have to say to little Tanya. Wade helped me. Wade was the one that got me to start accepting and dealing with my own trauma. So there's one person right there. And this idea that he's not helping anybody. No, Tanya, you're not helping anybody, because all you're doing is being very selfish and thinking only about yourself and about how Michael Jackson means to you. These men are coming forward and they're talking to victims. I know that they have gone to, when they came forward with Leaving Neverland, it helped a lot of people to understand how abuse works. Now, your tiny little brain might not be able to figure that out, but let me tell you something. There are people that have gotten a lot of good information from Wade and James. But again, you're talking to somebody who is unfortunately just not, in my humble opinion, wrapped too tight. So you're going to have these sort of opinions that are all over the place,
By the way, Mike, doesn't Wade also have like a support group for men, for victims?
I know he has a podcast that he does with James, where they do they talk about abuse and things like that. But he does counseling. Like you can call him,
Right.
and he'll be like a mentor or whatever. And shocker, he might charge for it, Tanya. Oh my word! How dare somebody charge for their time? That's awful. That's crazy talk. It's just these idiots. It's like, it's amazing. I'm sure Tanya, if she gave an hour or whatever she would give of her time to do work or whatever, she would want to be paid. But no victims can ever ask for money, get paid for something they do, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about, oh, well, if you dare take a penny, it's like, give me a break. It's just ridiculous. And they said that to Vincent Amen on the Piers Morgan interview. I don't know if you saw that, where Geraldo, this is another Geraldo who I have very little respect for. He came up and he talked about, he said, Vincent, didn't you get paid for your appearance on the Netflix series? He goes, well, we weren't paid for the, to appear. And he goes, well, didn't you get paid? He goes, well, for me giving, information and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, see? I'm like, Geraldo, you're a multi-millionaire who's gotten paid for some of the most biggest trash on the air. And you're going to sit there and question Vincent Amen, who got paid because he's giving you inside information to what happened to him when he was at Neverland. It's like oh my word, I just wanted to jump in the screen and take away his rice pudding.
Take away his Okay. Let's go.
And so they had something else up their sleeve.
What?
A couple years
Oh my god, it is in 1.25 speed, and it's still
ago, Wade and James started this online/hotline scam.
Hotline scam.
I even haven't heard of this one, so I'm dying to hear. What?
And I remember seeing on the website that it even says that even though they are not trained counselors, they believe that they can help anyone with any problem imaginable. That is the dumbest thing ever.
Okay. I mean, they can help because they experienced it, but go ahead.
The dumbest thing ever. Well, I would say she is an expert on dumb, but with that being said, I have not seen that I know that he does offer mentorship and talking people through, because Wade did a very, very specific type of therapy. He used a combination of this like red light therapy and a combination of meditation and a combination of talk therapy. So it's a very specific type of therapy. And some people who have actually used the red light therapy said it's very, very effective, because what it does is the light itself, as you're discussing this, it helps to break trauma bonds. So it helps to release that. And he went in, he was in therapy for years and years and years. And more than likely, he's trying to coach people on types of therapy, what he used, and trying to also, through meditation and things that he knows, to help people, get better. And again, when you go out and you go to a life coach or a counselor, you might not jive with that person. They could go to Wade and say, yeah, it's not working for me, I'm going to go to somebody else. It doesn't mean that he's trying to swindle people. The hardest way you can swindle someone, let me go and have a nice hour, 2-hour conversation with them, talking about some of the most horrific things they ever lived through while I'm sitting here. That's not an easy way to make money. There's so many other ways easier to make money than that. And the reality is that it's all about this Michael Jackson estate crap, that it's all about money. It's all about money. And it's like, no, the lawyers are all about money. Why don't you go after them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point. Good point on that.
It was Big Talker turned into Michael there. It's ridiculous. What was that? When it became a father, he snapped at them. Oh, and when the victim became a father, he snapped at the memories buried by drugs. Wide eyes face. I don't even know what that is. I agree, Michael was wired, but the problem he had autism or something. What is it with this new thing? Michael Jackson had autism.
Yeah, I haven't. I've only heard this recently. I mean, I guess you could say that he had very poor social skills, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think Michael Jackson was nothing but I think he was a sort of caricature, or he was constantly performing to let people see his predatory side. And then he had his performing side. And then the children got to see the real side. And because people say, well, I always tell people the only real people that are going to see the predatory side of a predator are usually the people being preyed upon. Now, you might luckily get a witness. That sometimes happened. That happened to the Michael Jackson case. But in almost 90% of the time, it's going to be the person that's being, sort of targeted. And that other person will be nice and kind. Oh, look at me. And then what happens is they find out, well, wait a second, this person is not like this. So when I hear people like Geraldo said it. He said, well, I went to the Neverland Ranch and we got to spend a day and a half with him and I got to talk with him. So I know he would never do something like that. It's utterly ridiculous. You know nothing. Stop pretending you do. Geraldo, you're definitely not his type. So it isn't going to happen for you. I'm sorry.
I also think with the autism claims, I think what that is, especially if it's a newer one that fans are bringing up recently, it's probably just another cope to excuse behaviors. Just saying like, oh, well, if Michael did this, it's autism. He just didn't understand,
Yeah, it's never his fault. Never. Yeah. It's never his fault. Yeah.
It's like I can only imagine if one day we see like video proof of him like doing something with a kid, the fans would still go, well, yeah, but he didn't understand what he was doing. Okay, he's got autism.
Well, no, they would just that, and they'll say it's a deep fake AI.
Yeah, they'll say it's oh, for sure. Yes, that'll be the first thing. The video is AI, 100%.
Well, the thing is that the other thing that these fans should be embarrassed about is they took pictures, like the picture with Dominic Castigo in Michael Jackson's arms, in his pajamas. They took it and they took him out of the picture. Yeah,
yeah.
And then like, this is the real picture. It's like, are you a total moron? I mean, seriously, he's holding nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure Michael was just kind of sitting there like this.
yes, holding. He was holding Casper the Ghost. Watch out, Casper.
Come on, we all sit like this.
Yes, we all sit like this, and it's just like, see, and the only reason they did that, there's two reasons they did it. A, because they know how damning that picture looks.
Exactly.
No question on that. And B, they wanted to see Michael Jackson have vitiligo. Look, his arms. And they wanted to show that, but they couldn't show the boy that he was holding. That they didn't do, so they had to take him out of the picture completely.
And like you said, it literally does show guilt, because if they really think that what Michael does with kids is okay because he's MJ, then why Photoshop the kid out? You would leave him there if you thought it was okay. So they know it's not okay. That's why they took him out in the first place.
Yes, absolutely, 100%, absolutely. They know exactly how it looks.
Exactly. Okay, Tanya.
Oh God.
And so when I was looking at how much they charge for the scam, because yes, that is what it is.
Okay.
It depends on how much you make. It could be anywhere from $100 to $250 an hour.
Okay.
And you have to make an appointment with Waiter James.
You have to make an appointment.
Yeah, I just show up, just kind of pipe him.
Holy fuck, Tanya! Oh my God! Can we just,
And
oh my God!
And then to make it worse, if you wanted to send them an email, you would be charged $50.
Okay, what?
Now I bet you're wondering.
$50 for an email? Is that true?
I've never heard that, unless they're talking about if you want to ask a question via email, they might charge you $50 for a response.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That would make sense to me, but I have to now look at the foundation. Tanya's making me curious. Oh my word, what did Tanya figure out? Look what it said in her bowl of Cheerios.
Why would you be charged $50 to send them an email? Well, because number one, they actually think that their time to respond to an email is actually worth $50 when it isn't. when literally sending emails is free. I can literally email my doctor for free. You know,
Yes,
somebody who
Tanya,
actually has
you
a
figured out how
PhD.
emails work. Yes, Tanya, you figured out how emails work. Very good of you. Next week, we'll go over something even more complicated.
The difference here, Tanya, is that your doctor isn't going to be responding to you with an entire like life coaching, a whole life coaching thing. Your doctor's saying, "Hi, your appointment is at 12 p.m. tomorrow." That's the email your doctor is sending.
And it's not usually a doctor. It's usually one of his assistants. I know exactly what she's talking about. They usually have something called Health Med or whatever, and you can ask a question. It goes to that website, and then usually an assistant to the doctor will respond to, like, if I need a prescription refill, I'll contact them and say, hey, yeah, we got it. It's on its way. That's not, the same as somebody, like you said, giving advice on something where, it might be much more detailed.
Yeah, exactly. And also in the email, they're probably sending sources of different numbers to call, different like studies, all kinds of different outlets and all kinds of stuff. There's probably a whole bunch of things in those emails. Okay.
But I would say the number one reason is to prevent MJ fans from harassing them.
I hate, as somebody who used to be in this, Tanya, you and I both know that's not possible.
But also because they won't do anything for free. We know that.
Okay.
And even though Dan Greed...
She calls him Dan Greed.
Wow, what a funny little pun there. You took Reed and added a G. Wow, whippy!
That they were not paid when they participated in the mockumentary.
Oh,
maybe Dan Greed didn't pay them, but HBO might have. Oprah might have.
Oh my god.
Sony might have even done it. Who knows?
Oh my god.
Now, I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm just saying that they didn't do it for free.
Uh-huh.
Really? So, Tom, wait, stop for 1 second.
Yeah.
And
So, Tom, if you're going to make claims like that, then you need to come with proof. You just can't shout out your big, your big lips there. You have to actually come with proof. You can't just say, well, I know that you don't know anything. You probably didn't even know what time of day it is. My suggestion is take a look outside. But besides that, you have no idea what you're talking about. You just kind of sort of, well, I know. No, you don't know. You're just because a thought pops into that popcorn head of yours doesn't mean that it's going to actually be accurate. You might want to take some time and actually say, okay, well, this is this. And then you put out this video. You show no information, no screenshots. You're just rambling on and on. It's just like, okay, well, I see some guys mumbling to themselves in the street. Doesn't mean I believe them. I just think they're mumbling and I walk away.
you see, with this hotline online scam thing, like the fact that they could charge up to $250 an hour, that's why it's even more suspicious when it comes to Wade's second fake charity, where the minimum you can donate is $250.
Uh-huh.
And Wade doesn't have to report it.
Uh-huh.
I really hope one day the laws in Hawaii are changed where that can't be. And speaking of Wade's fake charity, right after that charity was created after the mockumentary, it said on the website that Amanda Robson was a survivor of child abuse. But then in the mockumentary, she said, I didn't have any knowledge about child sexual abuse.
Okay. What do you think?
Didn't we just cover this? I kind of pointed this out originally. Yes. Okay, Tanya, here's the situation. Not all child abuse is sexual abuse. Sometimes it's physical. That when it's physical abuse means that usually it's hitting or maybe over excessive, spankings or things like that. That's child abuse. That's physical abuse. Now, when a dumbbell falls in your head, Tanya, and gives you what you have now, that's not child abuse. That's just happenstance. So in the question of Amanda, what she was saying is, yes, I understand child abuse because she had to deal with physical abuse. Mm-hmm. Okay, do you understand now? No. Are you all educated? Are you still going to be, thinking that, that the Easter Bunny's real? And
yes. Project Sparky says, do we have any official confirmation as to why Evan Chandler committed suicide?
It's no, and it's nobody's business why he committed suicide. I'm sure it's being it's held within the family. And the other idea of, well, he killed himself because of Michael Jackson. Oh, I know it. That's total nonsense. You don't know anything. You're just speculating. And the reality is that everything I've read about Evan Chandler is that he was getting more and more reclusive. He was getting more paranoid. He thought that more and more people were out to get him. And then he had a disease, and that disease compounded with everything else. I think, if anything, he probably just said, and then his son at that point, too, was going to be, moving out and doing other things. And I think that all that cumulated together and said, I just can't handle this anymore. But this idea, it was about Michael Jackson, get over it. Not everything's about Michael Jackson, for God's sakes.
What are you talking about, Mike? When you're a fanatic and you have basically no horizon, everything is about Michael Jackson because your life is about Michael Jackson.
Oh my Lord. It's sad. It's so sad. And the reality is, what it says is you don't have enough confidence in your own life. You don't have enough confidence in who you are as a person. Like, I do this because I'm advocating because I don't just talk about Michael Jackson. I've talked about many people. I've talked about female abusers like Mary Kay Letourneau. I've talked about people like Bryan Singer. My biggest video ever was on Kevin Spacey. I got like 60, 70,000 views, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I've talked about people like the lead singer for the Lost Prophets. I've talked
Ian Watkins.
Yes, talk about heinous. I talk about
God. Oh. By the way, we call him Ian Want Kids.
He was totally out there. But the Boy Scouts, the Catholic Church, I can go on and on. And the idea is that what resonates with this so much is this: people need to understand this is a foundational case, meaning that all the things that people can't grasp are in this particular case. And all the processes, the selection process, the grooming process, the abuse process, the what I call the separation process, and in some cases the silencing, and then hopefully the disclosure. And that's all covered in the Michael Jackson allegations. Mm-hmm. And the other most important thing is the harassment and people not believing them, just because of the fact that you're dealing with, again, 11 accusers, 7 multi-million-dollar payouts. You have one child accurately describing the markings on his genitalia. You have books, and people say, there were just 2 books. No, there was also nudist magazines. And some of the photographers that were in those books, by the way, were also photographed in nudist colonies. So it's the same sort of, type of thing that Michael Jackson was into. And then you also have things like what Jim Clemente said, 2 fried hard drives next to an easy chair, next to a thing of Vaseline. You have what Bill Dwarren said. He would go and look at these VHS tapes, row, 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 nothing, row, 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 nothing. So he obviously was taking things and disposing of them. Mm-hmm. So it's like trying to explain to people. I understand these people that are totally into Michael Jackson will never. It's going to take years if they ever come free from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like me. Let's see.
So then when fans pointed out what it said on their website about her being a victim, they took it off the website. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really sad when, well, first of all, like, Wade and James have been exposed as liars, and it frustrates me when people actually take them seriously. But here's the thing, though. I have told so many MJ haters to donate to Wade's charity if they support him so badly, and they refuse. They'll say things like, well, there are thousands of charities out there, but I still want it to be successful.
So? Okay.
The haters know that Wade.
She does this a lot, and it fucking drives me crazy, Mike. When she thinks that she's being smart, she does this, like, snarky laugh to herself. Listen to this again.
Like, Well, there are thousands of charities out there, but I still want it to be successful.
She actually does this a lot, and it's the most like passive aggressive, condescending thing ever. And it's like nails on a chalkboard.
It's not authentic. It's not real. It's her trying to pretend that she probably saw some sort of cartoon where some evil guy laughed like that. Now I'm going to pick up that persona. Literally, it's like what a child would do. A child would sort of do that sort of thing where they make up, they sort of laugh, in this maniacal type laugh to accent a point. She saw
a cartoon villain twirling a mustache.
Yes.
And did the
yes, exactly. And and she's probably has one of those cartoon villains as a stuffed animal right next to her in her bed.
No, she only has Tubby Nugget. Have you heard? Do you know what Tubby Nugget is?
I've never. Can you pull up a picture of Tubby Nugget?
It's this like cartoon chicken nugget or something. Let me see.
God.
And she literally, not only does she watch the cartoon, but she literally has like a Tubby Nugget like doll. Fuck, I think I can only share one thing at a time, so I'm gonna have to close this one again. Okay.
I can look it up on my phone. I can look up Tubby Nugget.
No, it's okay because I want to pull it up on the screen.
Tubby Nuggets.
So it looks like this.
Oh my! Again, this is what a 5-year-old would be into. This is what a 5-year. Even 5-year-olds would be embarrassed that they like Tubby Nugget.
She actively watches this.
I love you, therefore I feed you.
Oh my
I love
word!
you, therefore I feed you. I love you, therefore I feed you. I love you, therefore I feed you.
Okay, we get the idea.
That's like a 5-year. And the sad thing is I'm sure if a 5-year-old brought a Tubby Nugget, stuffed animal with or stuffed whatever it is, he'd probably get beat up.
The haters know that Wade's charity is bullshit.
Shut the fuck up.
They know. They just don't want to admit it.
Like honestly.
But still, it irritates me when they are doing this online/hotline scam.
You irritate me.
And I'm worried that some people who are actually victims are going to take it seriously and they're going to reach out to Wade and James.
Wow.
Yes. First of all, Tanya, you don't tell victims where they reach out or how they get their therapy or help. This is another thing that pisses, and that's why, Tanya, you're a victim shamer. I'm going to call you victim shamer. What you do is you tell people, well, I know better. How dare you reach? You know nothing. Again, you know, like Matt said, Tubby Nugget and whatever little surprises he might come up with. That's what you know. That's your mentality. But the reality is how victims get their help or where they reach out to, whatever it may be, that's their decision. You don't decide that. Seriously, get over yourself. You're a fan of Michael Jackson. That's it. That's all you'll ever be. Move on.
Remember what Tanya said earlier when Wade had a comment section? She said, "Oh, Wade, get over yourself." Meanwhile, if I may, Michael Jackson had a frame at Neverland of him being knighted.
He did. And look at the Last Supper, where he put himself in the place of Jesus.
Yeah.
Because that's not sacrilegious at all. No.
Picture being fucking knighted. That is like, do you watch The Boys?
No, I don't. I know the show, but no, I don't watch it.
Okay, so that is like Homelander level narcissism. If you watch the show.
Okay.
God damn.
I don't know how many people have actually either sent them an email or made an appointment with them or even made a donation to Wade's Fake Charity, but I really hope that it's not a lot, because I can tell you one thing. Once you find out that Wade and James are bullshit, good luck getting that money back.
Okay.
And I also forgot to mention that when you send them an email that you had to pay $50, it said on the website that they would respond within 30 minutes. Yeah, so
Okay.
I think it's ridiculous. You know, I really wish they would stop. Because the only thing they care about is money and themselves.
Oh.
You two are not victims.
Okay.
And deep down, you know it. And deep down, the MJ haters know it too. You are a disgrace to humanity. And I feel
A disgrace to humanity.
No, Tanya, you are a disgrace to humanity. And again, the fact that you're playing with something called Tubby Nugget pretty much sums up a lot of that. The other thing that, again, these victim shamers don't realize, Wade lives in Maui, one of the most expensive places to live in the United States. I don't think he's hurting for money. James Safechuck, he's actually very successful at what he does. He's, I think, a president of he works in computers and programming things, but he's doing very, very well. And so is his family. So this idea that they're doing it for money, just because you probably don't have money, I'm assuming she doesn't, and you're living in, you know, probably off your parents or maybe off, I don't know.
I can actually tell you, she lives in a house that her grandparents passed down to her, and she collects ODSP.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought she might be a TikTok beggar. But what I'm saying is, it's this idea that just because you don't know their financials, number one, and number two, the other thing is that why is their time not worth money? It's ridiculous. You don't dictate to anybody what their time is worth. And the reason you don't dictate is you haven't grown up yet. You're still a little baby. You're still a little child. Guaranteed you have, you know, a sparkly glittered rattle that you shake around. And, you know, that's essentially that's how I picture this woman. I picture this little woman probably being like those adult babies that probably wants a full-size onesie.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I've seen these people on TLC. It is so
bad. Yes. That's one of my favorites. They have the adult babies, and I remember one guy, he had a full-size onesie made, and she walks in and she goes, "What would you want made?" She goes, "Who's this for?" "Me." And she's like looking at him going, "Okay." But I could picture her doing that. I could picture her being a furry or something along that lines.
Some of the worst people on the planet. Oh my God, furries.
Having a life-size, you know, nugget made so she can, and having an AI brain put in so she could have a boyfriend finally.
We're getting into some shitty people here. We've got furries, adult babies, Disney, and lastly, Disney adults.
Oh my word, that is. I was watching videos on those, and it's just. They're not like, well, people say we got to worry, but it's not that they're predators or pedophiles. They're just like people that just don't want to grow up. It's just so scary that they're just like, I just don't want to grow up. I want to, you know, be a Disney. I want to act like I'm 7 forever. And it's like, I guess if you have the money.
If you can't, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, we have 2 minutes left. Thank fucking Christ.
So bad for the real survivors. And even non-survivors who actually take you seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Because unfortunately, the media, the tabloids, and the haters, they're going to keep trying to spread these lies as much as they possibly can to try to turn as many people against Michael as possible. Because they always believe that the more they spin the lie, the more people might actually catch on.
Okay.
Not while I'm around. That, my dear, is one of the main reasons why I do this channel. This channel isn't all about the allegations like I've been accused of in the past. But, you know, I also want to defend Michael because it's something I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to show the real side of Michael Jackson to represent his legacy. Which is why we have both allegation and non-allegation videos on this channel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's not going to work, Wade and James. And that's why I do this, because I want as many people to be informed about this as possible. So, let me know what your thoughts on this. And, yeah. So we have Thanksgiving coming up in a few days, and yeah, I might make a little Thanksgiving video.
Okay, before we end, we have to watch the Wade one. Let's see, Wade is a... I hope this video... Fuck! Okay, how am I going to find this? Uncle. Maybe did she maybe she titled Uncle Perv or something. Fuck. How am I gonna find this video? I have no idea what she made the title. Wade needed a puppet. Okay, I think that's where she claims that Wade forced James to join his case.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
We were silenced. Dinner live from Wade, telling the truth versus telling my truth. Wade and James are on the naughty list. Oh my god. Wait, that's it? Maybe she deleted the video. Huh. I think she deleted it.
Well, she better. I mean, the reality is that if you're calling somebody a pedophile and you're putting in video, Wade's not dead. That is something that's actionable, because you're saying, now if you say, I believe this is the evidence, this is something that's a different story. But if she's actually saying that and not putting a caveat to that, then there's definitely an issue.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. An MJ hater claimed Michael Jackson was a selective and that's definitely towards Roxanne.
God, she's an idiot. She's literally a troglodyte. I don't know why anybody would listen to her. It's seriously, I've heard more sense coming out of someone chewing gum.
Oh, do you want to see the video of her showing her dolls?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent Podcast. I'm your host, Moonwalker Tanya. All right, so
Look at this.
there's one video from the aquarium I haven't uploaded yet.
Oh my
But
God.
Where's Tubby? Show us Tubby Nugget. Wait, where's Tubby?
I was thinking
I want to see Tubby.
had flat.
Show us Tubby Nugget.
So I decided to name this little guy after one of my moderators.
Oh, there's Tubby right there.
That's Tubby.
Oh, wait a minute. We need to bring Tubby and MJ into the picture too. We need to have
Oh
everybody-
God.
Okay, so we have MJ, Tubby, Brantley,
She's 37.
and Catherine.
Let's see. When did she upload this? Can I see a year? This was uploaded 7 months ago. So, yep.
Oh my word! It's
Did you
you're
see this?
37 and you're showing freaking stuffed animals.
Did you see the
And
Michael
you're
Jackson?
proud of
Oh,
it.
and one more
What?
thing.
Look at the MJ one.
I know. It's just like, again, this is the biggest. Someone should take a screenshot. That explains her all in one picture. That she's literally acting like a 7-year-old, thinking that somehow she's going to save the world with her Tubby Nugget. All he knows where that Tubby Nugget's been.
This video is less than 3 minutes. So let's knock it out. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. So you know like how for the past 12 years, Wade and James have been asking for $1.5 billion from the MJ estate?
Okay.
Well, I want to say thank you to MJJ Facts from Instagram, and also thank you to Teresa who sent me this information. Apparently now they are asking for $400 million in damages. Oh, what's wrong, Wade and James? Did you lose faith in your own fake lawsuit? Did you finally realize that when you say your lawsuit isn't about money, but you ask for $1.5 billion, they're going to be...
So I'm going to repeat what you said, and I do agree with you, is that when they ask for 1.5 billion, they're not actually trying to get that amount. They're trying to, the idea is that amount would basically make them go out of business. That's like the intention, is not just to actually get that money because they need it, but get that money because that's the money that would take down the estate, as in it would make them bankrupt, right?
Well, yeah, and the other thing is that the damages aren't decided by them. It's decided by the judge or the jury. So you can ask for $1 trillion. It doesn't mean you can get it. It's a place. So it's basically to give people an idea of how serious the allegations are. And then a jury, and usually people realize they actually have guidelines almost for each sort of infraction or each thing that person's being accused of, and guidelines to what usually that particular offense would be like for a payout. So this is not done just haphazardly. It's done usually pretty meticulously by the jury or the judge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go.
So she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Take a look at this. Sparky says, is she running out of breath every time she talks?
Well, she's probably French kissing that nugget. Chubby Nugget. She's French kissing Chubby Nugget and running out of breath.
a lot of people who are going to be asking questions and not take you seriously. And yet it only took you 12 years to figure that out. Stupid.
Okay.
Sorry, Wade and James, but there's still a lot of problems with your lawsuit. First of all, there's still a lot of the inconsistencies that you still need to explain, which you will have to do during the trial, and I can't wait to watch you sweat like a pig. And then, you haven't taken a polygraph.
Oh my God.
You're sweating like a pig. You're showing stuffed animals.
By the way, is this a fan claim or is it real? Is it real that Wade and James were offered to take a polygraph and they said no?
More than likely they were. Who knows? It was a serious offering, but I wouldn't take a polygraph. Are you kidding me? No way. This idea that somehow polygraphs are 90%, they're not. Polygraphs aren't used in courts of law for a reason. And the other thing people don't realize is that a lot of times trauma can affect the result of a polygraph.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, but the other thing I would answer to is, when did Michael Jackson ever take a polygraph? When did he ever take a polygraph? Why didn't he come? He didn't even get deposed. He didn't even get cross-examined. But you're going to ask if Wade and James would take a polygraph? No, I wouldn't advise him. If I was their lawyer, I would say, no, you do not take a polygraph. A, we don't give into that crap. And B, we don't know really. Again, there's this sort of, because all these shows that have polygraph experts on and things like that, there's this misconception that they're super, super accurate. They're really not. And a lot of times they're ambiguous.
So I actually, because maybe I'm wrong, but I actually support polygraph tests because I did research and I found that they do say 90% accuracy, but is that not true?
No, there's been studies on polygraphs. No, again, studies. So you could have one study that says exactly what you say, another study that says exact opposite. Because of that, I don't believe in the authenticity, not often, but the results. And because it's not allowed in a court of law, that to me tells me that the people who want to use these are also agreeing with that sentiment, because they're saying no. And there are rare cases where they will offer a polygraph, but it's not the norm, and it's not something that, but I wouldn't, again, I'm tired of victims always having to be the ones that, why didn't freaking Michael Jackson do that?
Mm-hmm.
If he's not, this idea that, well, if they don't take polygraph, that means they're lying. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And the other thing is, it brings on a lot of pressure for these individuals because, again, you're talking about historic abuse. And then you have to wonder, okay, I know I'm telling the truth, but what if I don't get a fact right, or I don't get a place right? There's so many things that tie into this that I wouldn't advise them to, but hey, I'm not them.
It's fair enough.
Polygraph test, you haven't had a physical, and you're still asking for too much money. So you still need to reduce it by $399,999,998.
What?
And I bet the MJ haters are like, sorry, Tanya, that's too much math. What does that equal? That equals $2. And then
Tanya, you're still playing with stuffed animals, Tanya. Tanya, you're playing with stuffed animals. I wouldn't be going, duh. You're playing with something called, was it Chunky Nugget or whatever it is? Chubby Nugget.
Tubby.
Or Tubby Nugget. I wouldn't be, people in glass houses, Tanya. I wouldn't be throwing stones at people. I mean, seriously, grow up. I mean, at least, at this point, you should be out of your training bra.
Holy shit, man.
With that? Well, you stupid haters. If they
you stupid haters.
were real victims and it wasn't about money, they would sue for something like maybe $1 or even $2. If they want to be taken seriously, that is. They do not deserve $400 million. They don't deserve $1.5 billion. Because, number one, they haven't proved anything. And if they want money, they can get up off their lazy butts and get a job. Because after all, Wade hasn't worked since 2001.
Wade
does
hasn't
Tanya
worked.
do for work? Do you know what Tanya does for work?
She doesn't work. She's on ODSP.
So she doesn't work. She's on which she get paid by I know in Canada is it paid by like the state or paid by taxpayers, or
She lives in Southern America, actually, in the South. I'm not going to say which state, of course, but she's collecting disability because she
lives in the U.S.
Yes.
So she lives in the U.S. She's collecting money. Let's use her for collecting money from the taxpayers. And you're going to sit there and you're going to hem and haw about people working. Does she realize that he's a choreographer? Wade Robson's a choreographer. It's one of the hardest things he could possibly do because he still does do choreography. And that, you know, she could probably last like 20 seconds in one of his routines. And she's sitting there going, well, you need to get off your butts and work. I'm sorry. I wish I could play with, you know, a tubby nugget every day, but unfortunately I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I don't have the luxury of being able to sit at home. And you're going to sit there and shame other people because you have no idea. They both work very hard. They have their whole lives. Wade was a dancer since
saying that Wade hasn't worked since 2001. Where did she even get this from?
That's not true. Wade he's been teaching classes. Wade has, like you said, he does mentoring, but he also does a lot of classes teaching people choreography. And he's still in that field. And that's not an easy thing, especially now he's in his 40s, to be able to do that. And to hear her say this, and she doesn't work, and it's ridiculous. You want us to have sympathy for your disability, but you're not going to have sympathy for people who were raped. Sorry, it doesn't go that way. What an irresponsible. It's just, and now I know why, because she doesn't do anything all day, so she just sits there and thinks about this sort of crap, and this is her life, and you know, I'm sure her stuffed animals agree with everything she says.
You should one day. You should read her comment section. It's fun stuff.
God, she's nuts.
Anyway, yes, I just wanted to share this information with you guys, and I also wanted to have some fun with it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and also just to let everyone know that the only reason they've been dragging this along all these years is because out of the 12 years, they wasted 10 years only asking for extensions and didn't bring anything new to the situation.
Go ahead.
Totally wrong. What an idiot. What a pinhead. No, they were trying to get, they were fighting to get, what was happening all those years was standing. So they had to prove that they had standing, that they could actually sue the corporations, because the big idea from the Michael Jackson estate and all the people you love so much was that because Michael Jackson was the only shareholder in MJJ Corporation, MJJ Ventures, etc., that he could not be held liable for anything that happened to children, because he couldn't stop himself from doing it because he was the only shareholder. So the last round, what happened was a 3-panel, it was an appellate court, superior appellate court, and it was literally 3 judges, and they all said that's ridiculous. We cannot have a precedent set where you have one person as the main shareholder and they can do whatever the heck they want because nobody can stop them. That's what that was all about. And she doesn't understand that because, again, look at what we're dealing with here. I mean, she probably has a difficult time making a bowl of cereal. or a Pop-Tart.
Or a Pop-Tart. She has a video showing the merchandise she bought for the Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh God. Oh God.
I'm gonna play that one, but I scrolled back to the beginning of her channel to see what was here.
Oh God.
I was curious because I really wanted to find that video where she called Wade a pedophile, but yeah, she definitely deleted it.
Oh God. Knowing her, she's so slow that she'd probably buy Prince memorabilia and not even know the difference.
Oh, she made a video on Andy Signor.
Oh God. Oh God. I cannot stand that man. I cannot stand him. I can't stand him because he's such a grifter. And what he does is that he will latch on to a lot of causes that are going to be good for his channel. And a lot of, he's like, you know, to be pro Michael Jackson on a pop channel, Pop Planet, you're not gonna do, you know.
I have to tell you, I'm not sure if this is the same video. It's the same topic. I just don't know if it's. You may have talked about it more than once. There is a quote that I think is the funniest fucking thing in the world. And I swear, I'm not making this up. I swear to God that she said in one of her videos that Wade couldn't have been penetrated by Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson's penis was too big and it would have left scarring to this day. And he should get a physical to prove that the scarring is still there.
God. Well, first of all, did she have any sort of retention when listening to things? That's not what Wade claimed. Wade claimed it was an attempt to do that, and it was too painful, and he stopped. So, believe it or not, sometimes he could have got to a certain point. And Wade's like, no, I can't take it. So, there probably wasn't anything. And what he did was he broke the skin problem. That's where he had blood. But this idea that, no, Tanya, it wasn't full on anal sex. And this idea, well, he's going to have a scar. Again, all this is ridiculous. It's like we want all this evidence, but when it comes to Michael Jackson, no matter what he does or says, you completely ignore. The man slept with unrelated children, specific children. Did you ever notice that Michael Jackson wasn't taking children that were coming over from schools and from all these different organizations that they would just visit for the day? You want to know why? Because there were people watching those children. And if the children got out of line or they were missing, they would find them. What Michael Jackson did is he picked specific children that he had a liking to, where the parents were going to be agreeable, and he could groom them and then abuse them. Wake up. It's not hard.
Let's watch this one, and then we're going to end, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Viewer discretion is severely advised for this episode. I am Moonwalker Tanya, and this is the MJ Innocent podcast.
Okay.
All right, so in this episode, I'm going to be debunking the penetration lie from Wade Robson. Okay, so in the mockumentary, he claimed that when he was 14, Michael attempted to penetrate him. Wade said that Michael tried for a while. It became uncomfortable and painful for Wade to the point that Michael stopped. Now, let's go ahead and point out the obvious. If Michael was a pedophile, he would not give a damn that his victims were uncomfortable or in pain.
That's literally not true, because pedophiles usually feel like they're actually in love, and even though they're abusing you, they still try to make you comfortable, per se. What you're describing is a rapist. Rapists are the ones who don't care.
Yes, exactly.
So, moving on.
Pedophiles only care about what they want. MJ haters tried to say, well, Michael was a sensitive pedophile. There's no such thing. They also tried to say,
there's no such thing as a sensitive pedophile.
She has no clue what she's talking about. Literally, she's an idiot.
I know. A lot of them are genuine, like they feel like they're doing the right thing. They feel like they're doing the right thing. So, okay.
Say, well, he was a selective pedophile. No such thing.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard so far. That's the dumbest thing I heard so far. Yes, pedophiles just go around raping everybody.
There's no such thing as a selective pedophile. Okay.
Oh my God.
They don't have a type. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's it's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. She's absolutely just totally uninformed. Oh my God. And probably ungroomed.
Okay. Oh.
And then MJ haters also tried to say, well, two grown men do that, but you don't see them having to end up with scars or anything. Because I pointed out that because Michael is well endowed and Wade was only, well, in the allegation, I should say, Wade was 14, it would be impossible for Michael to try to penetrate a 14-year-old boy with him being well endowed without Wade's behind being destroyed.
Sorry, I just can't. It's the funniest thing. Her talking about Wade being destroyed back then.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, I could see her maybe getting destroyed by Tubby Nugget.
God damn it.
He would have to have emergency surgery, he would have hospital records to prove it, and he would have a scar. I would be surprised if Wade would even be able to walk for a while after that happened.
She's talking about Wade having trouble walking. This is not real.
Again, she didn't listen to what he said. He attempted to, and more than likely, Michael Jackson, it was probably a slow type of thing. And then he got more and more uncomfortable, and he said, "I can't do this." And believe it or not, that happens also in the gay community. There are people that don't want anal sex; they can't do it, don't like it. This is not a new concept. It just happens to be Michael Jackson was a pedophile, and he was doing it to little boys.
But there was literally footage of him out in the public, perfectly fine, during that time when he claimed it happened. Okay, and we also have to point out that Wade was asked by the judge to take a polygraph test and have a physical, and he refused both requests. And some MJ haters have said, well, they can refuse it if they want. Well, here's the thing. Their stories have fallen apart many times. So, if it happened and they have potential evidence, for example, hospital records, a scar, or any phone records,
So basically,
like when James Safechuck made that stupid allegation of Michael and his lawyers calling him constantly and threatening him to testify, which I will talk about in a separate video, but none of that stuff was provided.
can I just point out that fans like her talk about, oh, it was so awful that Michael was forced to have pictures taken of him in '93. Meanwhile, you want Wade to have the same type of thing done. Okay.
Yeah. It's and besides, there's no telephone. It was 1990 something. I don't think they're probably going to have telephone records because back then it was probably not. There was really no cell phones. It was probably nothing but hardwired phones. Those are probably all gone. They're not going to keep them for 100 years.
Yeah, there wouldn't be. That's right. Actually, there wouldn't be. Well, they can tap a landline phone, right?
Yeah, they could tap a landline phone, certainly. But you can't, like, records of who they call back then, it's probably not available. It's, again, we're talking, you're not going to have, because back then, too, people don't realize, very little was digitized. All of it was paper. So most of that stuff is not going to be around anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there is a huge difference between two grown men doing that. Very big difference between that and a 14-year-old being penetrated by a grown man who is well endowed. There's a very big difference. And here's another thing.
How do we know how thick Michael Jackson's dick was, though? Can we just talk about that?
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows, the idea. Again, she doesn't understand biology. She doesn't understand, I hate to say this, the sphincter muscle. She doesn't understand any of that. What happens is that a lot of these predators will use what they call like muscle relaxers, if that's what's going to happen. But I think with Michael Jackson, it was just he was getting so perverted, and as they got older, he felt that he could do more and more things with them. And then he tried, and it just didn't happen. And she's making this out to be some sort of full blown thing that never happened, probably because she's. I don't want to say.
I
up Tubby Nugget.
I feel bad saying this because I feel like I'm just picking on her when I go this far, but I'm just gonna say this for your knowledge because because it is gonna help push your point a bit better. But I'm not trying to be overly mean to Tanya, but she is a virgin, by the way.
I'm sure not by choice.
Oh, that's brutal, Mike.
I never met her. I have no idea who she is. To me, she's a victim shamer. I have no respect whatsoever. You're going to come on here because you're a Michael Jackson fan and think that somehow you're going to set everybody straight. You don't know what the heck you're talking about. You have never gone through this. You have no idea what people go through this. And when I hear people like this, as much as I'm laughing at her, I'm angry with the bitch. Plain and simple. And the reason that is that how dare you? How dare you think that you have the right to call other people who claim that they were raped liars? Back in my day, if you did that, you would be shamed. You would be drawn out there would be people you wouldn't be able to walk down the streets. Nowadays, it's like because of social media and because of this big whole thing, people get to do it freely. But the reality is, Tanya, you weren't there. You weren't in the bedroom. You have no idea what happened. When you have a grown man that decides, hey, look, great ideas. I'm going to take specific children, isolate them, sleep with them alone. When that happens, you don't give the benefit of the doubt. That's on him. You say, you know what? I'm sorry, but you made such a crazy, just out of this world decision. I cannot support you anymore. But people like this don't care because, again, you're dealing with somebody's on their own. It doesn't really have much responsibility, who's still living like they're a toddler. And this type of thing is going to happen because they don't understand how people and how the world works. They just understand their own little bubble. And it's just, again, I'm making fun, joking, but to me, this needs to stop. And that's why I'm not calling a lot of these people's fanatics anymore. I'm calling them what they're out. You're a victim shamer. You wouldn't go up to somebody down the street who said, hey, you know what? I was raped. And just say, oh, you're lying. I know you're lying because, well, you would have a scar. You wouldn't do that. You would be literally laughed off. You would be shamed, as you should be. And that's what they're doing. And this is ridiculous. 11 accusers, 7 multi-million-dollar payouts. The estate doesn't agree with you, Tanya, because they're paying people off. So and they're the ones that are in the know, not you and your little fantasy things, and your little plush dolls, your little plushies. That's not going to tell you anything. The reality is you know very little. You know nothing because you're not listening to the accusers and you're not listening to them with an open mind. You're just sitting there saying, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. Grow up. Seriously. Get a hold of yourself. Pick yourself by the bootstraps. Put away your Dora the Explorer backpack and realize it's time to grow up now. That's my rant on Tanya.
Yeah, I agree. We're almost done.
Let's just say, if you're under the age of 18, please do not watch the next maybe minute of this video. But
I can't wait.
If a grown woman would have trouble with something that's well endowed, how would a child be able to do that without severe pain? I mean, they would be ripped apart. But yeah, nothing was presented to back up this claim. And then James also tried to claim that Michael tried to do sort of the same thing, except with Michael's finger instead of his, well, you know. And that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It just seemed like they just sat down together and tried to make stuff up, and they just changed stuff so it wouldn't be exactly the same.
What?
Because according to the MJ haters, every story is different. Which is true in some ways. But, yeah. And the thing is, I don't want to bring Elizabeth Smart into this, but I watched the documentary that she made. It was called, I think it was called My Name is Elizabeth Smart. And they did a scene of what happened the first night when she was raped. Her abuser pushed her on the floor, and I believe she was 13 at the time. She was screaming. She was crying. She didn't want him to do what he wanted to do. He didn't care. He didn't care that she was upset. She kept screaming, no, no.
Again, we are comparing rape to the grooming process of molestation. We're not.
Yeah, this is not hard to figure out.
Oh, and her abuser's wife was outside the tent praying to bless that horrible sin.
Okay.
And then Elizabeth looked into the camera and said, do you want it to stop? So did I. So, and the worst part of it is, Wade and James are actually trying to use their false allegations, claiming that it was love. That is sick.
Okay. Come again? Did you hear the same thing I just heard?
She's parroting with a lie. I got angry because of something that was on Redacted as a podcast, big podcast. I even though I don't understand, well, anyways, but the same thing. And they said, you know what? Because they're describing it in that way, that it was love and that they thought they were in love with their abuser, et cetera, that they're promoting pedophilia. So when I was pissed, because the reality is all they're doing is describing at that moment how they felt and why the abuse in many ways felt like, they call it compliant victimization. So you feel like you're playing an active part in your own abuse, but you don't realize you're not. You are groomed to believe that. She doesn't understand this because, again, we're talking to somebody that just can't grasp these difficult concepts. Not everything is not everything's on the back of a Fruity Pebbles.
Oh my God.
Fruity Pebbles box.
Damn it. All right, 30 seconds.
It has been known for many, many, many generations that adults and children shouldn't be doing those things, but they're acting as if it was something brand new, and that's what irritates me. But yeah, I think I broke it down pretty good.
No.
So let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I will see you soon.
Unbelievable. That was fucking ridiculous. Okay, we're about to end, but I do want to put one thing on the screen here that I would like you to. You can promote this to anybody who's watching this.
Oh, great!
Because I really do like this post you made. Feel free to tell people about this and how you want people to perceive this.
How do I do it?
Just talk. Like, what does this mean to you about, like, how if this was someone who isn't Michael, we'd be seeing it completely differently. Talk about that.
So yeah, so I did this picture because I wanted people to see the fact that when we look at Michael Jackson, you see this sort of, doe-eyed, man that's trying to look like, a 12-year-old. So you look at him as very, very, how should I put it? You look at him as harmless.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's not the case. If we saw this man with James Safechuck doing this and taking a picture like this, knowing that he shared a bed, knowing that he spent tons of money and gifts on this child, would we still have the same reaction? And I don't think we would have the same reaction. We would have a visceral reaction saying, oh my word, somebody needs to protect that child. And if he came out later and this was the picture, people wouldn't be doubting it. They would be saying, oh my word, that man looks creepy. He looks evil. And the reality is that that's not the case. Not everyone's going to look like that. Some people, like anyone wants a good example. If you look at, there's something called looks maxing. And there was this guy that was like 22, 23, and he looked like he was going to be like a, I don't know, like a fitness model or something like that.
Clavicular?
What was that?
Clavicular?
I think so. I forget his name. He was very. He ended up.
It's a fucking loser. But go on.
But anyways, he ended up there was some predator hunters, and he was downloading child porn, and when he was asked about it, his reaction was that he liked to see innocence being taken away. So if you looked at this guy, you would think, wow, this guy is probably getting Playboy models and, he's probably living it up. He's in his early 20s, blah, blah, blah. But he was into the exact opposite. So you cannot go by just the looks. And Michael Jackson, I think, is a prime example. And if this was, like I said, if this man here, people wouldn't be questioning it. And unfortunately, this is the world we're living in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, beautiful. I have to get to my appointments, but thank you for coming on. It was awesome to talk to you finally after all this. We really made history here. Do you remember back in 2013 when you called into the King Jordan radio show and they hung up on you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
God.
Yes, that says it all.
That was
wild.
Says
it all. We're not talking about this right now. Click.
Fuck, man. Okay. Well, we will do this again if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Talk soon. Bye-bye.